treat me like a kid.
Rob Neal, Scott Aaronworth, welcome to the broadcast. Jeff Camrath, welcome to the broadcast. Brandon Harrop, hello. Bob Yarborough, hello. Philip Reese, hello. Dave Warwick, hello. John Shape, hello. DJ Morbley. Good Friday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us with Real Talk with Keith Smith. We're having a lot of fun today and pre-production of Real Talk with Keith Smith, as we always do.
Is that what this was?
The distinguished gentleman is in the house, a man who is a household name across Central Virginia, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world. We call him Keith. He's a friend, he's a colleague, he's the source of the source, and ladies and gentlemen, he's the guy you contact. His brokerage for anything buying and selling related in real estate. Yes Realty Partners, a name you can trust, in the game since 1987. Keith and Yonna's brokerage. Yes Realty Partners. Judah Wickower is behind the camera. He's also someone you can trust. And we got a show that we want to enjoy with you. So if you're watching out there, grab your coffee, grab your cocoa.
Get in front of the fireplace.
Get in front of your fireplace. In my case, it's an iced coffee. Always iced coffee. Keith's got hot coffee. Judah's got, what do you got over there? Ice water? Water?
Nothing.
He needs some fluids over there. But we're gonna have some fun.
The fluids over there are rather low. So
The bar is rather low. Judah Wickower, my friend, why don't we go studio camera? Have a 3-shot ready, because I think we're going to weave you in for maybe a Yiddish word or two of the day. And let's welcome Keith Smith to the broadcast, my friend. Friday morning, when it's an ice-capade outside, open houses. There was one with Marcella Fauché. I don't know if you saw the video.
I did
she
not.
Was
oh, yeah.
trying to get into the door of an open house or show a home to a client.
Yeah.
And literally could not go in the front door because it was an ice skating rink.
Good for her. I actually had.
She's one of the good people.
I literally had the same thing happen to me. I was showing a house, and all three of us were holding hands just so we could physically get to the door. It's not snowy. It's icy out there.
It's ice.
I've like I said, I've been here since '87. I've never seen it this way. Never seen it to the point that they're hauling snow away. I've seen that stuff when I was living in Ottawa, Canada, when I was in the Corps. But I'm just curious where they're going to dump it. Where they're dumping it. That's got like chemicals and stuff in it. I'm just really curious where they're going to dump it. I guess the river, but we shall see.
I would imagine that's the only place you would dump it, right?
I don't.
Kevin Yancey, do you know, Vanessa Parkville, do you know, viewers and listeners, where are the blocks and chunks of snow that the city particularly is putting in massive dump trucks, scraping and piecing together with skid steers and backhoes?
Well, they have to because there's no place to park.
It's got to be the river.
I would think so. Yeah, that's a great question.
I don't think it's going to be the city yard.
I know in Ottawa, when I was in Ottawa, they actually created a mountain of snow because it snowed there. I was there for 9 months, and it was snowing for 9 months. And I think we went back up there in May or June once to go visit, and the snow is still there. Yeah. You're shaking your head?
No, I'm nodding.
Yeah.
Kevin Yancey says they also did this in 1994 and 1996. Do any of the viewers and listeners know where the snow is hauled?
I don't remember that, but I trust him implicitly. Yeah.
He says it's the same place they dumped leaves. I don't know where they dumped the leaves. I don't. Where is it, Kev? Judah, do you know?
It's got to be someplace that runs into the city, but into the river. But interesting. I think we'll have a good water table year this year, just to get a little geeky out on that.
Yonna says it's the river, guys. I mean, we think so too, Yonna. Like here's and welcome. Thank you for watching, Yonna. The city. I'll throw this to you, Keith and Judah. And Judah, if you 3-shot yourself, we'll give you the mix here. I cannot imagine the city owns its roads.
Yeah.
Where Albemarle County, the roads are taken care of by VDOT.
Correct.
I cannot imagine the city is able to skid steer and backhoe the ice and snow off of city roads, load it into dump trucks, and then haul it outside of city limits.
Oh, 100%.
It's got to stay within city limits.
Yeah, 100%.
So because of that, it's got to be the river.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's some sort of special permitting process and emergency, with DEQ and all these alphabet organizations that normally would approve some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, logically, it would roll into the river, which kind of makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. And I don't think the salt is necessarily bad for the river.
I'm not an environment. I don't. Yeah, I would imagine the river is a pretty delicate balance, and if you start changing the chemical balance of it, I guess it could have some impact. But salt is salt, right? Let's see if it. That's a great question.
That's an interesting story for legacy media currently watching the show.
I did not.
Kevin Yancey says you absolutely cannot dump it in the river. You cannot, and they dump it off the John Warner Parkway near Charlottesville High School. Is what Kevin Yancey is saying. For print, radio, and television that's watching the show,
that's a really great. Yeah,
that's a news story. Yeah. Where's the ice trash? Ice trash. Is that ice trash?
Snow.
Yeah.
Ice.
Where's it?
I don't think I'd call it trash.
By the city.
Yeah, they're rolling them. That's for sure. So thanks, Kevin, for the input. So we've got snow on the ground. We've got dump trucks hauling snow around, at least in the city of Charlottesville. I can tell you on the roads of Lake Monticello, most of the roads are only passable by one vehicle, right? Because the snow is just pushed so far left and right.
Within the gates?
Yeah, within the gates. 50 homes went pending.
In the gates?
No.
Oh, in the area.
In the full footprint. I don't. I can tell you how much went, and most of them in Albemarle County. In Charlottesville, quite a few in Fluvanna. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in Fluvanna, all at Lake Monticello, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the point I'm making is, I've been tracking this absorption rate, right? This is kind of my new thing now. I've been tracking week over week what comes on, what comes off, just to kind of get a gauge for the tempo of the market. And, last week, as of yesterday, so we jumped from under contracts from in the 40s to 55 week over week. So we actually had about an absorption rate of 1.28 homes that come on. We're averaging about the last 4 weeks 1.36. So 1 1/3 homes are coming off as they're coming on. Little caveat, these homes that are coming on pending have been on the market for a while.
It's important to say that.
Yeah, it's important to say that, right? It's not a direct 1-to-1 ratio to it. But what it does is it gives you the tempo of the market. And when you look at 50 homes that went pending in the last 7 days with agents that have to ice skate and to the house.
Props to the agents.
What that's telling me that the spring tempo, even though it's freezing out there, is starting to pick up early. Same thing it did last year, by the way. Right, the tempo ticked up pretty quickly. I will tell you, if looking back, it was very interesting. I took a look at the first 4 weeks and what was the number one day that homes sold, and that was on the 20th of January. 23 homes sold, went under contract on the 20th of January, which is a Tuesday. 12 in Albemarle, 2 in Charlottesville, 3 in Fluvanna, 1 in Greene, 3 in Louisa, 2 in Nelson County. So the market is picking up. The tempo is picking up. Prices are increasing in certain areas. Certain areas they're staying stable, but I think the tempo is going up. So I'm going to keep a track on this, guys, and keep on reporting in the tempo and see if it slows down, but I don't think it will.
Now, Kevin Yancey does say he's not 100% sure that that's where it's dropped, on the John Warner Parkway. So
yeah,
I would bet.
I'm sure somebody in the city or legacy media, as you said, will figure it out. It's going somewhere.
Someone should ask the question, where's it going? Now we're talking real estate market, and I also have noticed in the pocket that I follow at Albemarle County that homes are under contract, and they're under contract quickly. I've also noticed that values are escalating. And it's no joke, the escalation in values that's happening in Albemarle County particularly. And that's coinciding with rising assessments as well.
Yeah.
Rising assessments across Albemarle County.
Yeah, we own a little rental property and townhome, and I think it went up 10 or 12%.
Yeah.
Somewhere along there. Look, the market, as I titled in a little white paper I did, the market did exactly what the inventory allowed, right? So where the inventory was and was available, which is just a simple supply and demand thing, it happened, and it happened quickly. I think and I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this, Albemarle County in 2025, it was 21.7%. So let's call it 22%. Or the way I like to say it, close to a quarter, awfully close to a quarter of all the transactions in Albemarle County had a 1 million handle in it. That's a big number, right? You know, to have a quarter, nearly a quarter of all the transactions to have $1 million in it in Albemarle County.
Be $1 million or more is what he's saying.
Yeah. So the whole car footprint, that number's a little low, is about 20%. Now, you know, Albemarle County's a rock star, right? It does the most volume in sales and so forth and so on. So obviously, if there's a high number there, it impacts across the board as far as that $1 million. But you know, man, $1 million and up, that, you know, that's a big number. So we'll keep a track on it. I suspect 2026 will react pretty similar to 25. I think you're going to see that $1 million and up percentage climb in Albemarle County and across the board. And you know, it'll be more difficult for people in the medium ranges or the lower ranges to find a home.
Well, we've said $1 million is no longer a luxury in Albemarle County.
Yeah.
$1 million's not even close to luxury in Albemarle County.
Yeah.
There are homes in Albemarle County that are priced at the 1.5 number that need work.
Yeah.
Like literally need work.
Yeah.
Yonna's got commentary she wants to offer. She says 2009 was even colder. It started in December with 2 blizzards and cold temperatures until the first week of February. So there is hope. And she says all this will be gone very soon. We love that from Yonna Smith, the optimist Yonna Smith. That's why we enjoy her company. One of the many reasons.
Well, we're about ready after the show to get on a plane to fly up to Connecticut to wish our 5-year-old granddaughter a happy birthday and participate in a party. I got invited and they said something about needing a clown. I'm not really sure exactly what that meant. It was a dad joke.
What's the temperatures in where you're going in?
You know, it's comparable to here.
Yeah.
It's comparable.
Whereabouts in Connecticut?
Norwalk.
Norwalk, okay.
So that's kind of stuck between, oh God, I've forgotten the name of the 2 towns up there, Greenwich and one other town north of it. So it's kind of the working class neighborhood.
Westport?
Yeah, Westport. There you go.
Okay.
Westport in it. So we're excited about it. We're going to fly up on Friday, fly back on Sunday, assuming the weather cooperates. And you know, the worst case scenario is we hang out with grandkids a little bit longer. Like, you know, life couldn't be so better to go ahead and do.
Vanessa Parkell's watching the program. She says, I believe the place they take the leaves is Panorama Farm. Maybe that's where they take the snow too. Panorama Farm's in Albemarle County.
Yeah. I saw, just to put a perspective on it, on the way coming in on Monticello Avenue down 53 towards here, there was dump trucks running up Monticello Avenue. So my bet, if I was going to bet on it, they're probably dumping them somewhere over by the sewer treatment facility.
Yeah.
And my suspicion is that maybe they might run that through, this is a total guess on my part, is to run it through the treatment facility so when it melts and the water goes into the river, it's of a more purer content. But that's where the trucks were going. There was a half a dozen of them going that way.
And those were city?
No, these were contract. They must be contracting out dump
Maybe they're
trucks.
Contracting out, okay.
Kevin would know this better than anybody, but they were different companies with different contractor trucks that were full of snow. I actually had to do a double take and went, hold it. And then I saw where they were going ahead and piling the snow.
Yonna says, Keith, it's Stamford.
So here's the secret of 40 years of marriage.
Yes, sweetheart.
Yes, dear.
I think that's the secret of any year of marriage.
I won't.
At least what I found.
Yeah, I won't. I will not live on air contradict my wife. I might do it off air, but I will never do it. I'm not doing it on air. Okay. Take a look at the map, honey. I think Stamford's a little further south.
We have, and actually I have a map in front of me.
Are you going to support me or?
I said Westport. Know that area fairly well.
Yeah,
I thought it was Westport.
It's between Westport and Greenwich, literally in the middle. Stamford's a little further.
Yeah.
A little further towards the city, closer to the city.
Do you want to offer some insight and commentary on the assessments in Albemarle County that are now hitting mailboxes? because the sting is real. I think it was a 6.7% on average across Albemarle County, with the Samuel Miller district, which is our district, the highest at 9.8% assessment uptick. Anything you want to offer on that, Keith Smith?
Yes. So, how'd you like that pause there for a second? I had to think. And he's smiling behind his hand. Albemarle, the average sold price in Albemarle County went up 7.7%. Right? So, what the tax assessment is supposed to do, and if they're doing their job right, it's supposed to match what the market is, pretty close. So the ranges they're at now is supposedly being close to what the market is in Albemarle County. Now, that's kind of a big blanketed thing. So if you take a look at what I worked on it, the average detached price went up 6.5%. The average attached went up 3.3. So depending on where you're at, what product type you have, what type of home you have is what it should have went up. So the short answer is it's not surprising. Mm-hmm. The longer answer is what is it going to actually do to how much cash people are paying, right? So that's the trick. And we talk about this every year, right? If somebody thinks that they're being overcharged, you can surely reach out to us. We'll go ahead and run an assessment. My guess is they're either just a skosh under what the actual market value is, or just a skosh over it, and it becomes an issue. Do I want to fight it or not? The two other sides of the triangle, which we talk about all the time, has not happened yet, right? Which is the budget. There's a really smart guy by the name of Ed Galloway has watched how the board navigates its budget, and you'll know how that person's going to vote going out. And then they set the tax rate. So this next big ticket item, the thing that everybody needs to watch and pay attention to, and why we're getting ready to do this every third Friday, is the budget, right? And, I'll be transparent and straight up. I think with the exception of Nelson County, maybe Fluvanna was flat once or twice. Generally, budgets don't go backwards.
Yeah.
Right? Generally, budgets at the best case scenario stay flat, right? Or they go up a tad, or they go up a lot. So if that budget goes up and your assessment is up, then what they need to do is they need to fluctuate this tax rate accordingly, which ultimately means more cash out of your pocket. So the next one we got to really watch is, because I don't think there's anything you can do about it.
I don't think there's anything you can do about it.
About the assessment. The assessments are probably close to spot on, or just a skosh under, more than likely. Skosh. Is that a Yiddish word?
Skosh Yiddish, Judah?
We have to check our Yiddish dictionary. Is skosh a Yiddish word? He'll check it.
He's looking right now. I think that's what he said with his silence right there, that he was checking. Yeah, that's what he said right there, is he's checking.
Trying to weave somebody smarter. I know. I'm trying to weave somebody smarter than the two of us into the conversation.
You set him up over there. Comments are coming in on the assessments here.
But I get it. I hear it. I understand the sticker shock on it. But if you take a look into my white paper I did, I mean, the numbers are pretty straightforward, right? The market, the Albemarle County says not double-digit increase, awfully close in certain product types to double-digit, in the 7 to 8% increase year over year. So it's not too surprising.
This comment's come in. If you appeal and lose, what happens then?
It just goes back. You just lose. It sticks with the original number. I will tell you, the counties that I've had more success with that is the outlying counties. Albemarle County does a really, not that the other counties don't.
They do it every year.
They do it every year. They have a department that really handles that. It's like Fluvanna, for instance, hires a third-party appraiser or a third-party firm to do it. Some of the other jurisdictions do the same thing. So they have staff in-house that this is what they do, 24/7 or 7 days a week or 5 days a week, whatever they're working on this, to go ahead and do it. So for the most part, you're pretty close. Where we've been successful, and we just went through this in Fluvanna because they do it every 2 years. Last year we did it, I had neighbors that were 150,000 plus over, and we were able to get the numbers down to where it's at. The thing we need to watch and pay attention to is the budget discussion. If you're in Albemarle County, that's what you need to pay attention to.
Well, in particular, because the Albemarle County School Board is now asking the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors for a $250 million high school in northern Albemarle.
So I've been doing this
That's
politics.
literally what they're asking when the assessments have gone up for 13 consecutive years. It's so out of touch.
Yes. And I've been watching this since 1987. The school systems at some level are always asking for more money. Do they need it? Do they don't need it? That's a different topic for a different debate. But the schools always ask for more.
But a $250 million high school?
But what a lot of so maybe I don't have the bandwidth to do it at the moment, but we can maybe pull up a ChatGPT and figure it out. School enrollment is declining across the board.
And in public schools.
In public schools.
Private school enrollment is upticking.
And why is that?
Because the citizenship is wealthier and can afford the private school tuition that's coming here, in Albemarle County in particular.
And that's the result of nearly a 0.25% increase in the million plus. That means the buyer is a little bit more well-heeled.
And wait till you see what happens, ladies and gentlemen, over the next 24 to 36 months with the biotechnology, AstraZeneca, Eli Lilly, and Merck.
Yeah.
And,
It's part of the reason why I wrote this, right? And when I started doing the math.
Afton Scientific as well.
When I started doing the math and found out that this price point has been accelerated, it's only going to get worse. And look, guys, it's just a simple supply and demand. The buyer's going where the inventory is, the supplier's going where the product's available. That's why when you take a look at this and you take a look at Greene County increased, yes, but it was a more stable increase. And not only was it a more stable increase, it was a more stable increase between the average and median price. You didn't have these huge swings. In Albemarle County, there was a bit of a swing in the car footprint overall. The median was flat year over year. But while the average jumped, and that's because of the impact of these million plus transactions. But if you take a look at it, and Walden Cooper eventually will give out some of this information, and I can't do it live and talk at the same time. But somebody like Neil Williamson can do this, figure out exactly where the enrollment is going, and you can start seeing this and why this conversation we're having about the assessments and the budget and all this stuff. Well, if enrollments are dropping and money, people want more money for the schools, there's going to be an imbalance here, and that's what I think you're starting to see.
St. Martin is watching.
Oh, cool.
With Javon.
Oh yeah, we love him. He's
he says, "I hope it's not too cold up there."
Oh, he
you
knows.
Need to come back down.
He's
rubbing it in right there.
He knows.
Javon in St. Martin. Hello.
I'm going to give him a shout out. An exciting young man, just fun to be around. A hardworking dude. Just a flat out enjoyable person. I really don't even know how old he is. I know he's younger than me. And he just shows up every day, takes care of people. He does it right. He takes the time he runs like the water sports thing over there, right? Where you get your masks and boogie, whatever you want to do with that stuff. And he just shows up and engages in what you want. And before you realize what you want, he's giving it to you. So, if somebody
that's quite a compliment.
Somebody who's in this line of work, when you see something like that really rocks your world, and you want to make a point to share that with folks.
Rob Neal, welcome to the broadcast. Michael Pruitt, welcome to the broadcast. Betsy Nugent, welcome to the broadcast. Aaron Moody, welcome to the show. DJ Morbely, welcome to the show. We have builders watching the show, financiers watching the show, developers watching the show. Jimmy Evers, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey,
Christopher Ketchum, welcome to the show.
Jimmy and his team are coming in. It's either I think it's the third Friday
That's very great.
of February to talk about Stanley Martin and what they're doing. You know, February we're going to focus a lot on new construction.
I love it.
I'm hanging on that.
I love it. The I Love CVille show, newly minted partnership with Stanley Martin.
Cool.
That we announced this week on Monday of this week.
Cool.
Stanley Martin is doing amazing stuff locally. Christopher Ketchum, Ron Wilkerson, Drew LeBlanc. Watching the program right now, folks from Real Estate 3 all over the show right now. If you have questions, put them in the feed. We'll relay them live on air. This is an interesting one for Keith. With assessments upticking is the only positive scenario for homeowners when they are looking to sell.
Try that question again.
This particular individual wants to know when is it good that assessments are upticking on your home, and is the only good scenario when you're looking to sell your house.
So is the question, you think, does assessment impact market value? Is that what we're asking?
They're basically wanting to know is when is it good that assessment is up on your house?
Well, again, assessments are supposed to reflect the
Market
actual
value.
market value.
Yeah.
So to be,
Generally, they are actually below market value,
to
folks.
100%. So
Yeah.
to be clear, right, if you look at your assessment, more than likely it's below market value. Again, Albemarle County gets it pretty darn close, right? What we just went through in 2025 for Fluvanna County, they got it for the most part right, but when they were going ahead and doing properties that were not exactly fitting into a specific mold, you know, an acreage or property type, they were generally off on it. So it's a great litmus test. I will tell you, when people ask me, you know, well, I only want to offer this amount because the tax assessment is that, tax assessment does not directly reflect market value. Market value is what a buyer and a seller is willing to come to terms on and make a transaction happen. That sets the market value. That's why we look at this stuff so closely on closed transactions and moving forward. But the short answer of it is it's a good kind of gut check on it. Best case scenario, get yourself a trusted advisor and let them take a look at your property and see what it's really worth at that point.
This is and I know where you're going to go with this. I'm going to ask it anyway. According to Zillow, my home value uptick much less than the assessment that I received in the mail. Why is that? This is where Keith chooses his words carefully. You want me to handle that, or you want to handle that?
So ask the question again without the word Zillow in it.
Yeah. Well, is Zillow? Zillow a broker? Zillow's a
technically
a broker, right?
It's everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So I can answer this question.
Well, no, I'm good with it.
Okay.
You know, look, I'll tell anybody this: do yourself a favor. Don't trust Zillow. Call a trusted advisor.
The Zestimate.
Right.
Yeah.
It's historically wrong. This is my opportunity to go over what the real estate market really is. And it doesn't matter if you're with Javon sitting down in the Caribbean, in St. Martin, or in Ivy, right? It's location, price, features, condition, timing, and then the last one is who on the other side matters. So Zillow doesn't know the features and condition, and Zillow doesn't know, you know, what's across the street. Zillow doesn't know any of this stuff. All it's doing is crunching numbers.
It's an algorithm.
And, you know, sometimes it gets it right, sometimes it gets it wrong. You know, if you really want to know what your house is worth, you hire a real estate agent or a guy like Woody Fincham to come in, a Fincham Associates, and give you the true market value. I will add this much. Every time I have this conversation, this question comes up. Nobody ever pushes back when I say, you know, Zillow, I really wouldn't trust that. I'd never get any pushback. What I usually get is, yeah, I know. Well, okay. So if you don't trust the platform, why the heck are you using it to think what the market value is?
Because they're really good at marketing. That's why.
And what they're really good at
is this technology and this app.
And what they're really good at is kind of showing you what's available in the market, right? That's good. Look, I'll do this. Whenever I have a conversation with somebody, I usually steer them towards Realtor.com. And the reason I like Realtor.com is it directly connects to our MLS. So does Zillow in certain ways, but it starts mixing up the data to the way they want to see it. Realtor.com is basically a direct connection to the MLS. Again, I don't want to get in the weeds. Zillow does do that, but then it starts playing with its own numbers. Where you take a look at Realtor.com, it's very much so follows what is actually in our MLS. So I would suggest you look at Realtor.com.
Excellent intel right there. Viewers and listeners, put your comments in the feed, relay them live on air.
And then Zillow people will get mad at me.
No, I think you handled that well. This comment's come in.
It's... I'm going to try to say this without sounding patting our shoulders on our back and do this, but it's factual. The little brokerage that we own and we operate, and our little folks that we work with, we work strictly off a referral. We work strictly off of relationship buildings. Building a relationship with a guy like Javon down in St. Martin, you never know where that relationship might turn into something other than him being awesome on it. And our business grew substantially in 2025, more than any other year in the past. And it's purely due to building relationships and working our database. You're starting to see in the news where Zillow's getting a little squirrely because people don't want to be paying these huge amount of money.
I mean, Homes.com, one of the big-time investors in Homes.com and CoStar, an activist investor in CoStar and one of their more forward-facing portals, Homes.com, is basically saying the C-suite of this company is burning cash and that they better reinvent Homes.com and it needs to potentially pivot to commercial because what it's doing residential-wise is not working.
I'm interested to see how September goes with the RES Media CEO event. There was... the CEO, Andy, I've actually sat on a panel with him or listened to him on a very small panel. I'm curious to see what that follows its way out. The difference between Homes and Zillow, Homes doesn't do lead buy. You don't buy leads with Homes. That's a very different business model. But we'll see. Look, this business, at least in my opinion, for 40 years I've been playing around in it. It's all about personal relationships. It's all about trust. It's all about, I can look at Zillow, I can look at Homes.com, but at the end of the day, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, these are the biggest transactions, the biggest financial life moves most people make. That doesn't mean there aren't sophisticated buyers that do these on a multiple basis. But for the most part, and people want to trust people. People want to look across the table or the Zoom or whatever you're doing and make sure that they can trust you and you have your best interest at hand. And that's how you do this business. But
Brittany Moore watching the program from Story
Tangent.
House. She's one of the best basketball players in Orange County history. She should come on the program. She's fantastic at her job.
Flat out outstanding individual.
Janice Cavanaugh, Matt Neese, welcome to the show. Thank you for watching. George Gilmer, Holly Foster.
I love watching Matt's little Facebook singing posts.
He's doing a good job with social media, absolutely. Like and share the show, viewers and listeners. If you have comments, put them in the feed. We'll relay them live on air. How about this comment? Has the spring market really sprung?
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make.
That's what he's saying, guys.
That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm looking at 50 homes that went under contract from today back 7 days with all that stuff outside.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't think my thermometer got above freezing this week at all.
No. And I think it really is only going to be above freezing on Monday of next week. We're talking 40.
So if there's transactions happening, right? But the flip side to this, looking at 7 days back, only 33 homes went on as new, right? So we've got 50 units went pending. Now keep in mind, these pendings were in the system, anywhere from 0 to whatever, 30 to 60 days out, depending on where they are out in their cycle. But the point is, in sub-freezing temperatures with snow on the ground in the last 7 days, 50 people, 50 buyers put contracts and got them ratified in the last 7 days. If that doesn't tell you that the spring market has already sprung, then I don't know what else to say.
I know. Point. Very well said. Very well said.
I do want to talk about pricing stability.
Please go.
Why inventory matters. So just to take a look at Greene County. Greene County had a 49% increase in sales year over year, right? So it went up 49.8. So let's call it 50%. They jumped 50% in sale, but the average price only rose 0.3%. Only rose just a little bit year over year. The median price rose a little bit more, 5.9%. But that is a pure impact on the inventory coming. Put this number in perspective. New construction units. So these are new construction units that in 2025 that closed, not built, not went under contract when active closed, jumped from 26 to 148. That's nearly it's a 469% increase. If you take a deeper dive into these numbers, new construction is just impacting Greene County in a big way.
And that is in a very positive way. And those are our friends at Stanley Martin there.
They are, and we're going to talk about that, like I said, on the second Friday of next month. He's going to bring in, I think, some other folks. We're going to have a good conversation about what that impact's going to do. But we're up to 50% jump in sales. We're almost 470%, just to round it up a little bit, in new construction. But the overall pricing, average sold price, stayed pretty stable. In the areas where we didn't see inventory increase like that, that's when the $1 million homes went up. That's when prices started up, because the bottom line is I got this many buyers and this much product, and that just causes the price to climb a little bit.
So you feel pretty good about what's coming, Keith?
I think I felt.
You are an optimistic individual, but you're very optimistic right now.
Well, I just know what the numbers are telling me, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about this in the beginning of 25, at the end of 2024, that 2025 was going to be a good year. I really didn't expect a nearly 0.25% jump in $1 million, but it kind of makes sense now that I study it and research it. 2026 is going to be more of a tempo, I've said it before, of 2019. Micro markets are going to matter. It depends exactly where the product's going to be. Is it in the right location, right features, right condition, right timing? It will, those areas will move well. And we need to probably wrap up.
You got a plane to catch. Absolutely.
We got a plane to catch.
I'll take a couple more questions that
Sure.
are coming in here. We got
Sure.
a busy feed here, and then
Sure.
we'll wind it down.
Sure.
This is an interesting one for Keith. Why is the townhome and condo market not have more offering?
Oh, wow. Great question. Again, this is what we're going to start asking next month in the new construction. That is a great question. So it basically evaporated. So the new construction townhome market evaporated. And that started in 2024, rolled into 2025, and is going to continue to roll into 2026. There's just new construction, very few product types left. Folks at Colonial Circle with Stanley Martin, they'll share how much they have left, but it's a handful in Fluvanna County. We've got some coming out of the ground in Greene County on it. Most of that home product there is going to be detached. But when you start looking at the overall price difference, so the increase in detached homes in the sales, 2024 versus 2025, was roughly about 6.5%. In attached homes, the increase in sales was not even a half a percentage point, 0.4%. They're not trading, they're not getting built. It's back to the scenario of what is being offered to the public to buy. and townhomes just aren't coming out of the ground. You're also not going to see a lot of development happen, in my opinion, in Albemarle County. People just are not going to want to go through and I mean this with all my love to my dear friends in the local government in Albemarle County and planning. It's just too difficult. They're going to go to Greene County. They're not going to go to Fluvanna, right? I'm pretty sure we're not going to see any more there. So Greene County, keep an eye on it, guys. I've been following it. You know, it's going to be rocking and rolling, but 2026 is going to be a good year, I think, in real estate.
Final thoughts for the viewers and listeners, Keith. You crushed it today.
Yeah, thank you for doing this. Please read this in there. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear from you and why. But I spent about 2 weeks
I thought it was pretty well done.
Thank you.
I read it this morning.
Well, so all of it's in here.
I thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah, I spent 2 weeks crunching numbers and putting stuff together, and my new best friend, ChatGPT, and I love it because I can now take what's stuck in between these two ears and actually sound like I know what I'm talking about and put it in writing. I've never in my life been able to do that. So this is exciting to me that I can actually take what's rolling in between these two ears and put it in something that people can actually read and understand. They may not agree with it, but at least they can read it and understand it. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
It's on Keith Smith's personal Facebook page. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I very much suggest you read the white paper I did today. It's very digestible. Keith Smith and Yonna Smith of Yes Realty Partners, they are who you contact for helping buy and sell your house. They will help you get to the closing table and beyond. They've been in business since 1987 with real estate.
Pending just went up to 51, by the way.
51 pendings, ladies and gentlemen, and the footprint locally. Keith, Judah Wickower, he's hopping a plane to Connecticut for a 5-year-old granddaughter's birthday.
That's right.
The I Love CVille show is up at 12:30 with content you have yet to hear, including a fairly significant story. For Judah Wickower and Keith Smith, thank you kindly for joining us.
Stay safe, stay warm, guys.
Nicely done.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.